Welcome to Mid-Ohio in the GT3. Today we're going to be running the Boatley tucked up behind the Aston Martin in position 3 and a Mercedes to our right. We're starting off the race in position 5, already losing position and coming round turn 1 a little bit clumsy. Out the other side we go, and right behind I'm Mortal Wout in the AMG Mercedes up in front. Now we have a clear bit of air behind us. I'm not too sure what's happened, but slide by slide is 1 second away. So you know what, we're not under any pressure from any car behind. We just need to make sure we can keep pace with the cars up in front, because all of them are running medium tyres. Ourselves, on the other hand, picked the genius idea of running hards, knowing that Mid-Ohio is kind of brutal on tyres. So a long race like we have at the moment, which is 30 minutes, 21 laps, going 2 sets of hard tyres is the way forward. And we only have to pit stop once, which will save us approximately 30 seconds. We need to make sure it's going to be 30 seconds by keeping up with everybody else that is on medium tyres and not succumbing to silly mistakes or going gardening when you shouldn't be going gardening in the middle of a race. Getting under pressure from Fantunes GP behind in the Porsche. Seems to be quite popular at this track. I don't know what it is with LMU and Forza, but everybody loves a Porsche. It's getting boring to see, I've got to be honest. Probably is a great car, not a fan of it myself, but yeah, surrendering that position to the Porsche, let them battle the Mercedes and we can sit back, stay in a bit of slipstream and watch it all unfold. There is method to the madness. While we ourselves are at a disadvantage by being on hard tyres, if we keep defending and battling with the Porsche, it's only going to slow us down in the long run. So it's better just to let them pass and just stay behind them and let them drag you along and keep up with a pack of cars, because once they go into the pits, we have the advantage. Ourselves, only having to pit once, will then turn the tables into our favour. Obviously in position 1 is FF2051-007. Every race they are in, they are insanely quick as a driver, and by the time we get to lap 4 they're still in position 1 but 11 seconds away. They are not even part of this race, they're in their own class at the moment, but ourselves are now under pressure from Tall Dark Latte behind us, who has no understanding of brakes but will happily push somebody out of the way and then gain on said advantage. While it's our disadvantage, I kind of think it's not an advantage you should be capitalising on. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Our advantage is the brute power of this Boatley. What a kick it has. There's so much torque in it. It's a brilliant bit of machinery to drive, and the slipstream working in our favour, gaining that position back, cutting up the inside, defending as much as we can in the corners while still maximising as much as we can out of these tyres. They are a little bit, yeah, they're not really great at this track. Maybe medium tyres might be the way forward, but you can actually flip this car around quite well and it will behave itself. Skipping ahead a lap though, not a lot has changed. Our position is still 6, 1 second away from the cars up in front. Tall Dark Latte still right behind us, but an ultimate mistake there by forgetting to brake. The nemesis corner I have, and Tall Dark Latte has gained that position. But I have noticed there is sections of this track where we are a little bit quicker than them, even though I do think they have the tyre advantage, and that is where we're going to really start to capitalise. By lap 8 though, Star System 117 in the McLaren has really been making strides and catching up, while the Mercedes to our left goes off gardening. They have been heavily defending, and you know what, you're defending for that period of time, something is going to go wrong somewhere. Anyway, Star System right behind us. Tall Dark Latte just up in front, going again a little bit wide through this corner here, but Star System, not understanding the concept of giving space, slams into the side of the Boatley, then goes off into the pits. Yep, that was really worthwhile, you know, each to their own. Now I'm Mortal Wout, who went gardening in the Mercedes, has rejoined the track with a new bunch of flowers, looking to gain some positions back. We're not going to let it happen. Tyres are still working in our favour. The strategy here is going to be pitting by lap 11, and then the latter half of the race the tyres will be in a much better condition to keep pushing towards the end. As lap 10 rolls around, we have been making great strides on Tall Dark Latte up in front. Presumably the tyres are now pretty much cooked, and we're going to capitalise by sending it up the inside, parking it on the apex, going out a touch wide, but bringing the car back over and closing that door for my cutback from Tall Dark Latte. They had to brake or contact was going to be made. Kind of a ruthless move, but a move nonetheless, and zero contact was ever delivered. So we are now in position 2, 9 seconds away from position 1 FF205, who again, like I say, is insanely fast. I'd like to point out they're that fast that they had been through the pits, out the other side, and still are 9 seconds ahead. So yeah, this is what I mean, they are in their own race. It's just hot lapping for them and a day out, you know, seeing some sunshine. So no pressure from the cars behind, because Tall Dark Latte has now gone into the pits. Well, we're not going to really catch up to position 1, I don't think, who's now 32 seconds away, 33, sorry, as we exit the pits on lap 12. Insanely enough, though, position 3 is 2.3 seconds behind us as we exit the pits. We're not under pressure for anybody behind unless they're on medium tyres again, and that's where they'll start being a little bit quicker than us. But if they are on a medium tyre compound, they will have to pit again some point within this race. So we have really gained the most overall in the grand scheme of things, although it would be kind of nice if FF205 1007 did have an accident. But they've gone into the pits on the final lap to prove a point, being 46 seconds ahead. Cars behind, no good shot, 3.5 seconds away. Tall Dark Latte, 5 seconds away. Not a lot happened, we're just basically lapping, nobody else around us, crossing that finish line in position 2. What a race that was, but it doesn't end there. We're going to head over to the Nürburgring now, where I make one of the most ultimate rookie mistakes there ever is. My gosh, a lot of people quit this race. Anyway, back to the Nürburgring, where we had to start mid part of the first lap because press and record was obviously too difficult for me to fathom as the race started. Yeah, honestly, Flash, that was probably the first time I've ever forgot to press record. But we're in position 6. Right behind the Aston Martin up in front. This track is unique in its own sense. The reason behind that is because you can run medium tyres twice on a long race. Very, very few tracks. I think it's this one and another one that can be done. So if you're ever racing a long race at this track, running 2 sets of mediums is the fastest overall. While the Aston Martin touched a little bit of gravel, as soon as you dip that wheel over that curb, that is it. Stay away from the outside of that track. Now up to position 5. Shift racer up ahead in the AMG. We have another Aston Martin, another Mercedes. I'm not too sure what is in position 1, but it isn't FF20 whatever their name was. But you know, thankfully, I guess they'll be on lap 3 by now anyway, while we're still on lap 1. Under pressure from Oompa behind. Gonna go side by side with Shift Racer. I got I'm Mortal Wout from the previous race here as well. Side by side with Shift Racer, forgetting that braking is kind of useful. And crazily enough though, everybody else made that corner besides us, who also braked pretty much at the same time. Yeah, you know what, sometimes the Boatley is called the Boatley for a reason. It is a big old lard. And just laughing about the huge mistake I made right there. We only lost a few positions overall. I mean, we're down to position 9, not too bad overall. A Boatley up in front, a purple Mercedes in front of that. We have ground to make. We have time to make said ground. You know, anybody else can make a mistake like we have, and we'll be able to capitalize upon that. Yes, we lost a good 10 or 15 seconds. Yeah, it is what it is, and it's all part of the fun. And talk about embarrassing though as well, like never sent it through. Thankfully we didn't actually take anybody else with us, so that works in our favor, I guess. But catch up to the Boatley up in front. Van Bolken is their name, rocking a matte black Bentley. What a beautiful sight that is. Not as beautiful as a Red Bull livery, and I think the Red Bull livery does really make this Boatley pop, because everybody gets out of the way for a Red Bull livery car, don't they? So or not. One of the most frustrating things about Forza, that a little bit, sometimes when you're behind the car very, very close, you don't seem to have the same controllability as you once did earlier by yourself. So yeah, a little bit of a mistake there for myself. Should have let off the power a little bit more, probably turned in a little bit more, and understood that, yes, Forza really isn't amazing for being that close to the drivers and for the car to be able to handle itself. I'm not taking blame for it, I'm just going to blame the game engine. That's the way forward. Don't admit to fault, blame somebody else. Catching up to Dragon Tamer 222 up in front, going to send it up the inside, hopefully not make the same mistake we did a moment ago, breaking down the first gear, back up behind Van Bolken, who is again in the Bentley, beautiful car. They have broken away from the Mercedes up the front, so we're going to have to bunny hop from this car up to the Mercedes and start to capitalize upon that situation there. Now, nice and tight into the section here. Bentley is doing quite well. I would say for big old large, she is a beauty. Side by side with Matt Black to our left. Steady, buddy. That got me a bit nervous. Braking at the cone's end. I'm going to send it through. So do you know what? We're going to play the old switcheroo game here. Hang it around the outside, nice and tight on the brakes. In we go. Out the other side. Position has been claimed. What a beautiful overtake that was. There is actually another beautiful overtake coming up very soon. But first, we need to actually catch up to the purple Mercedes to be able to make this beautiful overtake. Because, well, we have 2.6 seconds to find, and that is a mountain of time at a track like this. Now, Tribal Splash 2 is holding this position. 0.5 second penalty. Can we go side by side again, nail it into this braking section, and not go wide? You know, you can't trust issues when a car doesn't do what you expect to do. Side by side with Tribal Flash, made it through, zero contact. Credit where credit's due from the both of us there. What a beautiful corner that was, because it's so easy to turn in too much, turn in too little, and collisions do happen there. It's such a tight corner. So Tribal Splash, thank you ever so much. A beautiful move right in there. I'm Mortal Wout, who was in position 3 before we crashed, is just ahead. Now, it did take us a few laps to catch them up, but we are catching them up, and that's what matters. These medium tires are beautiful on this Bentley, holding the car too well, and I gotta say, for a car this big, it suits this track exceptionally well. Probably the Mercedes is better because everybody seems to be in said Mercedes, but one thing the Mercedes hasn't got that I have, and that is a Red Bull livery. Joking. Anyway, Mercedes did kind of park it on the apex, and I backed out. Should have actually kept the power on, so they have broken away somewhat, but the sheer power of this Bentley will vacuum that Mercedes in. I'm Mortal Wout, rocking a 0.3 second penalty. We're going to catch you up, buddy, right up behind him, 0.2 seconds away, and we're going to actually pull off one of the most insane overtakes I've seen at Nürburgring, and it's zero contact-free overtake. Look at that, side by side with the Mercedes. Going to be so sketchy as we enter the chicane, stamping just before the 100 board on the brakes, slamming it down the first gear, up the inside, over the curbs we go. Beautifully done, Flash. Pulled that one off. Yeah, one of the first times I would say that I pulled an overtake off like that, and I'm actually proud of it. Like, you know, really generally proud of that overtake. That sets us up into position 5. Lego Robot 8185 was 5 seconds ahead. A few laps later and one pit stop, we're now 3.6 seconds away. Doormaster is in position 8. I'm Mortal Wout has now gained position 1. I can only presume they were on hard tyres. They're going to have to pit at some point. More than likely going to go from hard to soft tyres. So we have to make sure that we really maximize these medium tyres, because when they go into the soft tyres, they are going to be really quick. So we don't need that barreling down behind us. But lap 9, Lego Robot 2.3 seconds ahead. Really starting to pull them in slowly and surely. Braking here down the third gear, nice and tight, carrying as much speed as we can over to the left hand side. Just a touch of the brakes there, going right to the curb, and Lego Robot went into the gravel Sarlacc pit. Last place you want to go there on the track is so detrimental, but beneficial to us because we're now regaining that position. We're in P5, braking down to first gear over the sausages, abusing as much of those track limits as you can, and out the other side. I'm Mortal Wout is now in the pits, 22.3 seconds ahead as they entered the pits. Kind of insane, really. And position 1 is Simo Dao Zio, 25 seconds ahead. Overtaking I Am Mortal Wout. By the looks of it, they are actually just getting their tyres done, so we have a good bit of time on our side. Into position 4 we go. Nico Novak 13 is 17 seconds ahead. Kind of insane to think that if we didn't crash in turn 1 earlier, we might actually have a podium finish again, you know. And I managed to mess that up by forgetting that brakes are kind of useful in a race. But 4 laps to go, anything can happen in that time, and we can actually still lose positions if we make a mistake ourselves, or gain a position if other people manage to mess up. One can only hope it's on the latter and we gain overall. I mean, 17 seconds does sound like a lot of time, and it generally is a lot of time, but it's only one wall hit away from, you know, not being a lot of time anymore. We're really by lap 14, final lap. 2 of the tyres are on minor wear. Nico Novak is 22 seconds away almost, so they're definitely setting a better pace per lap than ourselves. Mortal Wout is now behind us, 6.3 seconds away. So they have been making ground lap after lap, well, a few laps, but it's not going to be enough to be able to gain this position from ourselves. All we need to do is bring it home, take our time. We have time to burn. Tyres are on minor wear. We have to be mindful of that. The car is not going to be as fast. So, you know, just take your time, Flash. You can do it. Sadly, it's not a podium finish, but P4, even after what happened in turn 1, I am more than satisfied with that. And hopefully the embarrassment has gone. What is embarrassing is, you know, end of the race and the weather changes, the time of day changes. It has no idea what to do. I mean, what a game this is, where a 30-minute race and the game just has zero clue what time of day it should be and what the weather forecast was during the race. It just keeps randomly changing. I think, you know, that's kind of mad, you know. Seriously, how is this still a thing? And I don't even remember it ever being a thing previously. Like, you know, it's kind of new. In like the last year, kind of new. But weather's changed again. Nice sunny sky outside. You know, time of day looks about noon. Is it going to change again? Seems satisfied, settled down. Yeah, I don't know. Oh no, there it is. There's a change. It's now a cloudy day, probably about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I have no clue what is going on here. What I do know is we finished this race in position 4, crossing that line. Beautifully done. Thank you all for watching. Oh, I tell you what, I wonder how many people quit this race before we go. Seems to be Nürburgring is the winner, because not many people quit. I think 2 quit overall. Yeah, obviously not many people like Mid-Ohio. Thank you all for watching.